almost to the weekend. We're almost there. Almost. Hi, CJ. Congrats on getting first. Hope you're doing all right. I'm doing good. I watched some anime today. There's a new episode of Free Run today. And I watched Taman's B-side, I think. It's pretty cute. It's a pretty cute anime. It's let me see if I can find the synopsis here on Crunchyroll. But it's actually pretty good. Utage Kinoshita is I hope I said that right. If I did. See the new Spirit Charmer. Why have you ever watched that at all? I keep forgetting to do that. Keep forgetting to watch those. Hi, Crid. How you doing, Sierra? How you doing? Is a high school girl who works part-time as a housekeeper. She's devoted her life to her favorite idol, Taman Fukuhara, from the group Face. Then one day, Utage ends up being assigned to Taman's house. There, she discovers that offstage he is nothing like his wild idol persona. A gloomy, introverted boy with no self-confidence, Utage still finds herself falling for him anyway. It's cute. There's 4 episodes out now. Yeah, 4. Like the 4th newest one was 2 days ago. But how you doing, Crit? Hope you're doing okay. Good to see you. And I washed some clothes, did some laundry. Because if I didn't do it today, I'd have to do it tomorrow. And everybody else likes to do their laundry on the weekend, so I figured it was safest to just do it today. And we had Little Caesars for dinner. So if I'm burpy more than usual on an ASMR stream, it's because I ate pizza for dinner. So, yeah. And then I built a Metazoo deck because I wanted to. I just leaved it up here. I don't know if it's good. It's probably not. I don't know how consistent it is. So, it's a forest lightning element deck, right? And when we opened that booster box that I got for Christmas, I got enough copies for a playset of Splinter Cat. And Splinter Cat is a forest and lightning element beastie. It's a dual color creature. And it has haste, and it has a power, so it has haste, so you can tap it when it comes into play in magic terms. And you can tap it to destroy a forest terra page, which are just cards that simulate fourth wall environments, right? So if you have cards that get bonuses from playing near the ocean, but you're in a landlocked state, or you're nowhere near the ocean, you can play an ocean terra page. So, and there's a bunch of those. So one is forest, and Splinter Cat is a hunter, or it's a cryptid. It's one of the fearsome critters, but it's just its creature type in Metazoo is just cat. But it's one of the fearsome critters, and they ram into trees at just crazy speeds to and trees just blow up, and then they eat birds or whatever that were in the trees, I think. So they were a way to explain why sometimes you're just walking through the woods and then a tree explodes, or you hear a tree just fall over out of nowhere because a Splinter Cat ran into it. Anyway, so you tap it for its power, called Splinter Bash, and you destroy a Forest Terror page, and then you can have his the Splinter Cat's attack inflict paralysis until the end of your turn, and then you awaken him, so you untap him. So he enters with haste. So you tap him for his power, destroy a Forest Terror, and then untap him, and then you attack. With Thunderhead is its attack for 30 damage, and it does 20 more damage against forest things because it rams into trees. And if a felled tree is within eyesight, you place him back into your hand after resolving combat. So, I think the like intent with Splinter Cat, how you're supposed to use Splinter Cat, at least what I'm reading into this card. Oh, sorry if no one else cares, but you play him, and he costs 2 mana, 1 forest and 1 lightning aura or mana. Has 60 life points, so he can survive probably most hits. So I think the intention is you play him, tap him for his power, blow up a Forest Terra. So you'd have to be playing a ton of them. I put 3 in the deck just because I don't do anything else. And then attack, inflict paralysis on a creature, and then he goes back to hand if he survives the attack from the creature you attacked, right? So, and then he goes back to hand, then you play him again, he's fresh, do it again, all that. But there has to be a felled tree, and there's a creature called another fearsome critter whose creature type is a fearsome critter named Wapaloosie. And Wapaloosie has a power at the beginning of your turn. If target player is wearing anything with leather, you get a token, a creature with 10 life points and 10 damage attack, and you can name it anything you want, and it can trigger fourth wall effects. So, with ideally you'd have Wapaloosies to make felled tree creature tokens, and then that lets you bounce your Splinter Cats back to your hand over and over again to get these paralysis off. So it's very control and then just damage heavy strategy that I tried to build. The other creatures are the Glastonbury Glaucus, which is also a fearsome critter, and it does. It can only target beasties when declaring attacks if the beastie that the target beastie has been damaged. So ideally, you smack them with your Splinter Cat and then attack with your Glaucus to do the rest of the damage. Because if there's a Forest Terror in play, they get a 25 damage bonus from forests, and their attack is Memory Wipe for 25 damage, base damage, and they inflict confusion. So if you didn't get the paralysis off, you can still maybe get the confusion off. And if you have the Forest Terror still, if you have one active or your opponent plays one, or you're just playing in a forest, he's hitting for 50 instead of 25. So that's, yeah. Anyway, that's the plan. And then there's a couple bigger guys, some searching and draw power, some draw engines, mana ramping. Anyway, no one cares. But I did that today. I haven't seen the new ban list, CJ. Did anything get like? I haven't been really paying attention to what's going on with Yu-Gi-Oh lately. We haven't played Master Duel in a while. Welcome back from the outbreak, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. But now I haven't seen the new ban list. Crid, did they get? Was it like a super controversial ban list, or did they not ban for because they banned too much stuff, or not enough stuff, or not the right stuff? I don't know. But no, I haven't seen the new ban list. But you were spaced out? Oh, sorry, did I say Crid? I meant CJ, if I was saying Crid. CJ just asked me if I had seen the most recent Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list, and I haven't, unfortunately. I haven't really paid attention to Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff for a while. I just get the MBT the MBT YouTube shorts occasionally. But we're doing okay, Crit. I will go back from the ad break if you guys got ads. Excuse me, sorry, goodness. But yeah, that's what I did today. I did some laundry, ate some pizza, and built a MetaZoo deck. I watched some anime. And Temen's B-side is pretty cute. It's cute, and it's actually pretty well animated. It's one of the prettier ones I've seen this season so far, which is saying something. Mitsugui, that sounds familiar. Yummy, I know Yummy and Dracotail and K9. Thinkersoul made a swap between monsters. I think the big ones were Herald is banned and Droll is semi-limited now. Oh. So they unbanned the Atagarasu, right? Or am I just thinking they did because of like a Master Duel event? I imagine that the Yada lock is much harder to pull off these days than it was then. It's still funny. It's unlimited now. I want to see someone try to. It's the deck would probably be terrible, but you could win with winged elephant or flying elephant and Yada lock. That'd probably be terrible, just terrible. Give me one moment. I need to put my notes real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. Goodness. Some yawns and some sneezes earlier. Darn. Snatch Steal and Change of Heart are both unlimited. I Snatch Steal, like you take a guy's monster, right? Is that what that does, or do you like? It actually, it's been a while. It's been a while. Change of Heart, like, or is it Change of Heart that takes one of your guys' monsters, right? What are your opponent's monsters? Whatever. Okay. My uncle sent me some more paleo art. This one is of a ceratopsian. It's I know Iosaurus procurvicornis. Procurvicornis. Procurvicornis, because it's got a horn on the front of its face. The nose horn comes out and then swoops, curves down, and then in front of the face. It looks like a bighorn sheep horn from profile. Interesting. Is that for like digging up tubers, if they existed then? I don't know. Interesting. They both do. But Snatch Steal, you take the monster, but the other player gets 1,000 each phase, and Heart gives the monster back till the end phase. Oh. So they both take monsters. Okay. Gotcha. Life point gain effect will be used because would be used for an extra deck summon anyway. True. You'd most likely be taking someone's monster for material, right? Take their big guy and then pitch it for your guy. Yeah. Or you could just take their big guy, maybe. You could do that too, but yeah, it'd probably be more efficient to just pitch it for an Xyz or Link or yeah, an extra deck monster. A reaction to Smogchi? What is that? Burn deck and keep that monster around, but that might be too slow now. Oh, like if you take a burn monster, or if you only have monsters that do burn. Yeah. That's why you just play terrible monsters in your deck, and then no one will want to Snatch Steal them. Come minus instead. Oh. Right. Okay. Yeah, I can see that being a thing. I can see that working. The, yeah, that would do things, but I don't know if that would win you anything. Eye of Truth, Snatch, Steal, and Smogchi, meaning you steal a monster, see the hands, and you take 2,000 each time. I mean, that's a 4-turn clock, but in Yu-Gi-Oh, that doesn't mean much, right? Games end in 1 turn most of the time. 1 or 2 turns. Depends, I suppose. Unless you can use stack it, unless that stacks. And yeah, but that would be reliant on them having monsters. So you'd have to go. Would it be better to go second? Maybe not. I don't know, because then they could have stuff that counters spells or whatever. I don't know. It's definitely a strategy, though. Yeah. Even better if if you're able to steal big monsters, so they can't just trample over their own guys if they don't have monster removal or anything, or if their thing is just to like beat stick you with big guys. So go and reperform it. Burn trick. Oh. So that steel was banned for years? Yeah. I know it was banned. Oh, I did. This is probably like a month old news, but I did hear that like a character in Duel Links had to get like nerfed because her ability would like you would just like burn your opponent in like a turn, like consistently. So they had to, and she was like a nobody from the anime, I think. Um, it was some she could get you dragons or like search your deck for the a spell that just did direct damage or something. I don't remember. So they had to nerf her. Um, there's a Yu-Gi-Oh game that was on like the PS1 or PS2 or something like that era. That speedruns of that game take like 16 hours, and that's like the fastest you can get is 16 hours. And like the final boss, if you lose, you have to like do like another like hour or something, so your run is just dead. Forbidden Memories or War of the Roses? Probably Forbidden Memories. Memory speedrun. Oh, it's been on GDQ. 2.5 hours. Oh, I think it was a different one. It might be the same one, and maybe they got it down to 3 hours. I just remember watching a video of somebody explaining why the speedruns of this game take 16 hours. Or like 10 hours, like a super long time. But yeah, I guess it is Forbidden. Forbidden Memories is one of them. If it's not the one I'm thinking of, it probably is. Yeah, it probably is. I always thought that the dungeon dice monsters stuff in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime was really cool, and it's a real game. Everybody knows that. That's not news. Um, but I don't know. There's just something about miniatures games that is I just like them. I've never played Dungeon Dice Monsters. But I don't know, there's just something appealing of little guys moving around on a grid that is fun. Like, I haven't played too many of them, but like chess is like the idea of these little guys running around on a board is fun. I just find chess like not as fun because I don't know, there's no like I can shoot him from over here and then I roll a d6, and if I roll a 6, he's instantly dead. I don't. There's something I don't know. That's more fun. That's more fun. I don't know. And like flavor wise, I guess chess is just not as interesting as like army games, right? Little war games like Warhammer and stuff. Because like those tell like a story. And with chess, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just yapping. But with chess, there's like rigid rules, like things go this way when you put the piece here most of the time, right? If that makes sense. But like you can still tell stories with chess. But I feel like the stories of like a miniature game are exciting because you have a bunch of little guys shooting a big guy around the corner, and you might miss, and then that big guy on the opponent's turns around and blows up the wall, and then everybody dies. Right? I don't know. I haven't played Warhammer very much. I have some. I have a quick start Tau box and a little 3-pack of some Tau guys. But that's it. Um, and they're primed. They have primer on them. I just haven't painted them. They're just sitting in my room. I don't know. I was maybe that's why I like tabletop games, because you tell the fun part is telling the one part of the fun is telling the story, right? And when you play a tabletop game, a role playing game, you tell the story collectively. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know if what I'm saying even makes sense. I just like moving little guys on a grid, either physically or in my brain. I do have HeroClix guys. I have HeroClix figures. Um, the first thing I ever bought with my first paycheck was a booster box thing of the Incredible Hulk HeroClix set, and that was fun to open. But that doesn't come with the rules. So I got this HeroClix starter set that's like DC. It's DC heroes, but it's like Green Lantern and then a bunch of other DC characters that have like different colored ring powers. So like Scarecrow is one of them, and he's yellow, I think. Um, Stuff like that, and it has a rule book, but it's old enough that the figures from the Hulk set, and I have a bunch of Iron Man figures. Some of them have powers that I don't know what they do because it's not in the rule book that I have. And then HeroClix did a bunch of smaller sets that are like in gravity feed boxes. And one of them was Mage Knight, a Mage Knight HeroClix set, but they also came with bases. Uh, and those figures can come off the base, and they come with two bases: a base for HeroClix and a base for Mage Knight. I've never played Mage Knight, but they have cool figures. Uh, and one Christmas, I don't know if it's still on Amazon, but for one Christmas, I asked for the booster box of Iron Man boxes of booster things for from an Iron Man set. But the listing was for, I thought there was just one booster box. It's like, oh, this is like $50, or I don't know. I think that Iron Man set just isn't very popular or good. I don't know. Maybe that's changed because it's been like 10 years. Well, maybe not that long. Maybe. Maybe 9 years. But it came with two booster boxes in this big cardboard box. It was a crate, a case of booster boxes. It was just two. Because HeroClix figures come at the booster. There's they call them booster bricks. That's like a collection of like 10 boxes, right? Or 10. So a booster box is just one thing. Oh, it's booster tubes. The booster tubes come with like 5 or 6 figures in them, and then I think they call the bundled, like a booster box equivalent in trading card games, is the booster brick. And then this case came with 2 booster bricks of Iron Man figures, and so I have a ton of them. I have a ton of those, and I don't know what to do with them. And there's chase characters, chase figures with different colored bases, and in the Incredible Hulk set, the chase figures are all like, because there was a comic book arc in some Hulk comics or something where the leader turns everybody into Hulks. So like all the Marvel heroes get turned into Hulk versions of themselves, and I got Cyclops Hulk, and it's just Cyclops, but he's big and purple, and he's got a bunch of like lasers coming out of his face. So that's the one I got out of the Hulk box. And then out of the Iron Man case, I only got one chase figure. I don't remember what his name is, but it's Iron Man dressed like a cowboy. I think it's like Iron Man Tony gets put back in time into like the Wild West because he's wearing like a hat. It's a bandolier of like grenades or something, and the inside of the thigh armor, which is like usually gold, is like fur chaps. Uh, and he's got like this big cape or cloak. It looks very cool, and he's like holding a pistol out. It's very cool, but I don't remember what his Iron Outlaws. I don't remember. Iron Hunter. I don't know, but it's very cool. But I haven't played HeroClix in a while. I don't know if HeroClix still gets product, if they're still making HeroClix stuff. Um, I imagine they are. It's made by WizKids. So I don't know. I'm trying to remember if my local game store still has HeroClix stuff. They do. I just don't think it's a big chunk of the store. I remember when I was younger, like not like a toddler, but I don't know. I was young, and one of my younger cousins, it was really into Pokemon cards. I don't know if he still is, but he wanted this. He wanted to trade in a card or something. So I went with him and my cousin's family to a game store at nighttime, and I'd never been in one before. I remember we went, and my cousin bought or traded a card in for in a full art Emolga EX or something. Like this is a while ago. Like it's in the black and white era, so because it was an Emolga card. But it's been a while. I don't remember what the big basics were called in the black and white era. Were they still EXs then? I think it, I think they were. And then the next in my era had breaks and megas and stuff. Anyway, I remember we went and they had these big tables with like, I don't know, they were big to me because I was a small child. Uh, and um, they had like table set up for miniature games. So there's like terrain and little miniature trees and stuff. It was really cool. And there was I think little me got the impression it was a dad trying to teach his son how to play HeroClix because he had this big plastic bin full of HeroClix figures. I remember just looking at it, and there was a bunch of little superheroes in there, and I didn't know what that was till for a long time, but it was just cool. Thank you for the follow. Miko was here. Thank you. Mwah. Hope you're doing all right, sweetheart. Thank you for the follow, dear. Thank you, thank you. I'm Ketchup. If you don't know me, I'm Ketchup Thriller. I do ASMR streams like this every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. We do handcam ASMR on Sunday. Sorry, I'm just yapping. Uh, but thank you for the follow, sweetheart. Thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoy your stay. Thank you. If you have a favorite ASMR trigger, I would be happy to do it for you as thanks for your follow. If I can do it. I can do pretty much everything but ear eating because this mic doesn't have ears to eat. But yeah, I just remember like, this place is cool. And then we went home. I don't know if that's the local game store I go to get stuff. Or that was a completely different one and it's not around anymore. I don't think it's the same one. I don't think it is. But yeah. Anyway, I like miniature games. They're cool. They're cool. So I also found out today that Magic are doing theme decks again. Maybe they have been forever. Maybe they have been doing theme decks, but I don't remember last time they released decks besides that set's commander decks. Not every set gets a commander deck. They used to only do commander decks like once or twice a year. But they released 2 theme decks with Lorwyn Eclipsed, the newest set that came out a couple weeks ago. Excuse me, sorry. And they're 60 card standard legal decks. One they both have separate themes. One is angels, the other is pirates. And there's a channel I watch. If you like Magic content on YouTube, Magic the Gathering content, you know the Tellurian Community College, and they usually do breakdowns of commander decks that release when they release them. And they did a video about these theme decks, and they just seem really bad. They're just really terrible. The pirate deck especially. So when he does the video, is it worth it to buy this? Not just for like, is it a good like in terms of monetary value, but is it good for like a play experience as a product itself, right? And part of that is breaking down the value of all the cards that you get in the deck, right? Hi, Ninetail. Mwah. I'm sorry you're cold. It's very cold. I think, let's see what happens to load here. It is 32 degrees outside, so it is freezing. It is freezing. The high today was 40. I don't think we'll be getting any snow around here. It looks like overnight it'll hit 24 at 6 a.m. tonight or in the morning, and then start going up. It'll hit the high of 35 tomorrow around 3. So, yeah, it's still very cold. It is very cold. Currently 0 degrees. Oh no. Yeah. I think we are just kind of where I am is like barely in the big cold front or something. Or like, I don't know. We're not getting any snow. If we get snow, that'd be cool. Because we could use it, but oh well. But yeah, it is, as of right currently it is freezing. It is the temperature at which water freezes right now. -2 tonight? Oh my goodness. I just been yapping about card games. Hope you had something yummy to eat today, Ninetail. Hope you had something yummy to eat today. And I hope your cough is gone, but probably not. Last time I got sick, I had a cough for like a month. It was not fun. It was not fun at all. It comes and goes. Okay. Yeah, my brother, I got really sick last June. It was either June or July. Around that time last year. Or maybe, no, that was 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago. That was 2024, not 2025. Because it was around the time the Elden Ring DLC came out. And that was 2024. I'm pretty sure. But my brother went up to the mountains for a day with friends. And one of his friends apparently got home from a trip and they were like deathly ill, but they still went. And then my brother came home and then got everyone else sick. It was so bad. It was rough. I nearly died at work towards the end. I got really panicked. I'm sorry, Ninetail. Yeah, Wizards of the Coast are now, I guess they're doing theme decks again. They used to do these things called dual decks where you could get two 40 card decks for like $20. But they weren't very good, but they were built and balanced against each other and other dual decks. That's essentially what these new theme decks are. They're about that power level. Like if you buy these standard legal decks to take to like an event at your local game store on Friday, like a Friday night magic thing for a standard event, you're going to the angel deck. You might take some games. The pirate stack, you're just gonna get stomped. Like, that thing is terrible. It has 13, or it was either $12 or $13 worth of cards, at least on the secondary market. Which, the Wizards of the Coast don't control those prices, but they do. They can see them. In the Pirates deck, I think one card in the deck is above $1, worth above $1. So you're better off just buying those cards piecemeal if you want that deck specifically. And the Angel deck, if you want to buy the Angel deck and upgrade it for standard, you'd be cutting all the cards worth more than $1 because they're only worth that much. Sorry, that was my dad sneezing again. Sorry. It's only worth that much because they're commander staples. They're good in Angel decks and stuff. So they're just really not worth it for standard. But if I don't know, they're just not very good at all. Hi, Mercury. Mwah. Hi, sweetheart. How you doing? Happy Friday. It is Femboy Friday. I remembered. There we go. Please go follow Mercury if not already. He's very sweet. He's a fellow boy of the femme variety. He's very cute. He's very cozy. His streams are very cozy. He does art streams, and video game streams. He does lots of TCG content as well. I think Pokemon Pocket. I don't know if he still does that, but yeah, he's very sweet and very cute. And he also posts things on Twitter and Blue Sky on Fridays, and his are better than mine. His are better than mine. He's very sweet. Please give him a follow if you're not already. And his art's very good. His art is very good too. Hope we're doing okay, Mercury. Mwah. But yes, flies are up on Twitter and Blue Sky. If you haven't seen them yet, they're up there. When I took the pictures, I don't have blinds on my windows anymore because I just take them down to put insulation up on my walls. And those are the walls that have windows. So, and around, I guess that day wasn't as cloudy as it has been the past 2 months. So I was taking the pictures, and I just cut up chunks of the insulation up in my windowsill. So there's one corner of the window that's not covered, and it was beaming. It was beaming. It was I took a handful and I was like, okay, I got it. My eyes. So I don't know how the lighting are in those, but that's why it looks so bright. Thank you, Mercury. Thank you. Your pick. It's still very cute, Mercury. You look very good in those knee highs. You look very good in those knee highs. Did you have something yummy to eat today, Mercury? Didn't have to work. So got catfish? Nice. I've never had catfish. There's this guy on YouTube. His whole thing is that he eats cans of fish. Uh, and that's his channel. I found him through a video where he fed his cats different kinds of canned tuna or something, canned fish, to see which one they liked best. And I thought that was cute. And they're actually like really cozy content, and they make me kind of hungry because I watch them at night when I'm laying in bed, falling asleep, and yeah, so maybe that's why. With lots of it here. Oh, okay. Um, no, I've just never really had fish. I've had tuna, and then maybe salmon and sushi. Um, my grandparents, because when my grandpa was still around, he would crave sushi sometimes, so we would order sushi from a local place. Um, but it's so I don't remember if that had fish in it at all, or if it did, I don't know if I ate it. Um, the ones specifically with fish, um, raw fish. So I don't know. It's just, and my parents don't like seafood. My mom is okay with canned tuna, uh, but that's it. And my dad doesn't like it at all. Um, yeah. Oh, sorry. My thumbnail? No. Okay. So I don't even like. My only point of reference for fish, eating it, eating fish, is tuna. Usually not a big fish person, but it depends on the kind. Oh, I see. I see. Well, that's okay because jackalopes aren't typically very large, so I don't know why you'd be a big fish. Don't laugh. It's not funny. Don't laugh at that. That wasn't funny. Don't laugh. I don't know. I just think fish are cool. I think they're neat. Give me one moment. I need to blow my nose real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I'm doing good, Mercury. I'm doing good. I watched some anime, and we had pizza for dinner. We had Little Caesars. and I built a Metazoo deck today because I had the idea for one a couple nights ago. And I just like, no, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. It's like, oh, it's only 4 p.m. I could do that now, and it took me 2 hours. um, but I built a Metazoo deck today. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if I'll ever play with it. But it's a. I talked about it a bit at the beginning of the stream. I don't know if people care, but it's a forest lightning deck based on the main focus on it is with the Splinter Cat creature, the Splinter Cat beastie, because the Splinter Cat has haste. You play him, and then he has a power where you tap him, and he has haste, so you can tap him the turn he comes out. You tap him for his power. You blow up a forest terra in the arena, and then that gives him his attacks deal paralysis too. And then his power untaps himself, and then you swing with him. He does 30 damage, and then if there's still a forest tower in play, he's hitting for 50, and then deals paralysis. His attack deals paralysis, and then if there's a felled tree with an eyesight, he goes back to your hand. So you play this, do this over and over again. So you're just trying to hit fast and hard and lock your opponent's guys down with paralysis. And then, so problem is, if you're playing in your basement, there's probably not a felled tree. So to solve that problem, there's a creature card called Wapaloosie. It's one of the fearsome critters, and at the beginning of your turn, if target player is wearing leather, an item made of leather or whatever, like their shoes, a watch, a hat, whatever, you get a token creature with 10 HP and 10 damage attack, and you can name it literally anything you want. And that name can trigger fourth wall effects. So, with Wapaloosie, you are ideally wearing a piece of leather, and then you make felled tree tokens, creature tokens, and try to keep those alive. And then that lets you bounce your Splinter Cats back to your hand to play them again, so they can't die or whatever. Only problem is that ties up your mana resources. They only cost 2. They cost 1 forest and 1 lightning aura to play, but that's what they do. And then the other main creature, little guy, besides some bigger guys in the deck, is the Glastonbury Glaucus, which is another fearsome critter. It has 50 HP, costs 2 forest aura, it gets a 25 damage bonus from the forest terra, and it has some anti-trap card stuff when you play him, and then while he's in the arena, he can only target he has an arena effect where he can only target other creatures as attack targets if they've already been damaged. So ideally, you use your Splinter Cats, bam, 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 they all go back to your hand, and then you swing at those same creatures with your Glaucuses, swinging for 25 because their attacks do 25 and inflict confusion. And if there's still a forest terra, they hit for 50. So you're hitting for 50 with the Splinter Cat, and if that doesn't kill them, you can smack them with your Glaucuses, and then they die. Ideally. Unless they're a bigger creature. And then there's some bigger guys in the deck. I have some search cards and stuff like that. I'm playing the a couple copies of Jack-o'-lantern because they have a power where they let you re-roll or reflip a coin. So if you flip a coin to inflict paralysis but you fail, you can tap your Jack-o'-lantern to reflip the coin, essentially. But there's some bigger guys. The other one One of them is the Copenhagen Devil, which is also a lightning and forest beastie from the same set as Splinter Cat. And they're just a big guy with lots of stuff going on. They have 3 traits. They have fear, regeneration, and generate. So you can tap. So fear is when you play a creature with fear, the fear trait, which is just denoted by an angry face symbol on the banner on the left side of the card. If they have an angry face, they have fear. That lets you target a monster with fear, an opponent creature with fear. I don't have a rule book on me. I might get this wrong. It's been a while. But you target it with fear. You flip a coin, and then they target with fear, and then whenever they attack or something, it's a way to just bounce a guy to your opponent's hand through a coin flip. It's similar to Flash, but fear is a little delayed compared to Flash. There's really not Flash. You just bounce it with a coin flip. Fear is a little delayed, like it's when they attack or something. And the regenerate trait is denoted by a hand being reattached to an arm. On the older sets, it's denoted by a cross symbol. And that just means that at the end of your turn, a creature with regenerate heals 10 hit points. And then it has the generate trait, which is denoted by a arrow curving and pointing right. On all the cards, it's denoted by a swirl. That just means you can tap it to generate an aura of its color. In Copenhagen Devil's case, you can tap it to generate a forest or lightning aura. So it's also a resource in that way. And it costs 2 forests and 2 lightning. Has 100 hit points, so pretty chunky. That's quite a bit of HP for a 4-drop, or maybe average for a 4-drop. And on contract, when you summon him, his ETB effect is you inflict a target beastie with paralysis, and he has 2 attacks. Not very many cards in MetaZoo have 2 effects, or 2 attacks. One is Shocking Maul for 50 damage and inflicts paralysis, and the other is Demonic Screech for 40 damage and then inflicts Scared, which does the same thing as Fear, but I think Fear is the one where they attack. You have to flip a coin. If you fail, it goes back to their hand. Something like that. This game has MetaZoo is very hard to explain because it has a lot of things going on. And a ton of symbols and status effects. Like Pokemon has paralysis, sleep, burn, and poison. MetaZoo has fear, confusion. Let's see if I can remember them all. Fear, confusion, paralysis, burn, poison, frostbite. Is that all of them? Is that all of them? Oh, sleep. I think that's most of them, and that's 8. That's 8. There might be more that I just can't remember right now. So you have to remember all the symbols for the status effects, and then you have to memorize a bunch of symbols for the creature's traits and 4th wall bonuses. So you have to remember the symbols for their fear, regeneration, and generate, and then you have to remember what symbols mean for terra bonuses. So Copenhagen Devil has a bonus from farms and lightning storms. Farm and lightning storm is pretty easy because farm is just a barn next to a silo, or just a barn, and lightning storm is just a cloud with lightning coming out of it. But the older sets had different symbols than the more recent ones, so you'd need to memorize 3 or 4 variants of every single symbol, and it's just a lot to learn and to try to explain to somebody. Anyway, Demonic Screech does 40 damage and inflicts Scared on the target, and you may reduce this attack's damage to 0 to activate this beastie's fear after resolving combat. So it is a way to retrigger the fear to bounce more creatures. And with the paralysis, it's very control-y, trying to lock down opponent creatures and then send them back to the hand to keep your opponent's resources locked, constrain your opponent's resources that way. So he's okay. He might actually be very good. I don't know. I've never actually played a game with him before. And then the rest of the creatures, there's a dragon in here. The Cumberland dragon. He's just a big forest beastie, and he can redirect damage from your other creatures to himself. So it's just also good at kind of stalling and protecting your other vulnerable pieces. But you can only have one in your deck. Oh yeah, MetaZoo has variable playsets of every card. So one card, like Lightning Bolt in MetaZoo, has a playset of 8. Well, Cumberland Dragon, you can only have one copy in your deck. Copenhagen Devil has 2. Splinter Cat has 4. The Glaucus has 6. Wapaloosie has 4. So, yeah. Jackalope has 8, so you can have 8 Jackalopes in your deck. I thought about putting Jackalope in here, because he gets a bonus from Forest and Lightning Storm. But he's better when you have a bunch of them, and they are still pretty vulnerable. I think they have 10 HP. They are 1-drops, but they only have 10 HP. But they can swing for a ton of damage if your opponent is just flooding the board with tokens, because they do 10 more. Their attack does 10 additional damage for every opposing beastie in the arena, which would probably be very nasty in a 4-player game. But they're really only good if your opponent's strategy is to swarm. Like another lightning deck with their radioactive hornets that make 5 hornet tokens and stuff like that. So, but they're not a bad card at all. And then there's Chibi Jackalope. There's a Chibi Jackalope card that makes your Jackalopes do more damage, I think. Something like that. Something like that. Yeah. So, I don't know why Jackalope gets a bonus in Lightning Storms. I don't know what the lore there is. I don't know, but something. There's something going on there. Welcome back, Cranberry guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you. It's been an hour already. I don't think we've had a single trigger request yet tonight. I've just been yapping. I apologize. You can request triggers when I'm yapping. You can do that. What was the lore you said? I don't know. But the Jackalope card gets a bonus from Lightning Storms. And I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know what the lore with Jackalopes and Lightnings is. Or if there is a connection there, if they just put that on the card, because why not? Because it would synergize well with other stuff from the set. I'm not sure. You want some smooches, Mercury? Would you like slow smooches, fast smooches, breathy smooches, a different kind of smooch besides those three? Have a preference? If not, that's okay as well. Make other Draclos trying lightning storms. Oh. Thank you, Mercury. Thank you for I didn't know that. Any kind of smooches? Okay. You got Mercury. Thank you for the smooch redeem, sir. Thank you. I might put on some chapstick first. Okay, goodness gracious. I'm so sorry if that scared anybody. Goodness. There's not much I can do about that. Scared me. Oh my goodness. Sheesh. Sorry. Sorry if that woke anyone up. I'm so sorry. Okay, here you go, Mercury. You get some birthday cake chopstick kisses. You know, here you go. Oh, he's blowing his nose. How could I hear him blowing his nose? Oh my! Sorry if you guys hear that. Goodness. Sorry. Excuse me, sorry, goodness. Burp. Sorry. You have voice crack mid smooch? I don't know what that was. Sorry. All right. A couple more smooches. For you, Mercury. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. There you go, Mercury. Thank you for the smooch redeems. Thank you. Hopefully those were okay for you. Oh, yeah. So that game High Guard that was the last game revealed at the Game Awards is set to release in 3 days, and the devs have said like nothing at all, which is fine. Like it's fine. It's just very interesting that like the game that ended like closed out the Game Awards in terms of reveals before the last award was radio silent, and apparently it's because so everybody was like, wow, they paid millions of dollars for this one spot in the Game Awards, and that must have been the whole ad budget. And then I think it was a couple of days ago found out that It wasn't, they didn't pay for it at all. Jeff just gave them the last slot in the Game Awards because he thought the game was cool. He liked the game. So, yeah, which means that Jeff just kind of set this game up to be yelled at by the internet. Anyway, it comes out in a couple days, the end of the week or next week, and apparently today the devs posted saying that they're going to be doing a like deep dive stream the day the game releases or the day before, one of those two. So it's very interesting. The whole story is interesting because it's just like it was the last slot the Game Awards. Everybody's like, oh great, another one of these hero shooters. Because previously, like the last game revealed at the Game Awards has been, from a big studio, or last year was Naughty Dog, the year before that was Monster Hunter, and the year before that I think was Armored Core 6. So like there's a lot of weight and expectation in the last reveal of that year's Game Awards, and for this year's to just be a hero shooter that we don't really know much about. And I think what didn't help was that the trailer, the like 2 minute 15-second trailer that they have, that was the only thing that they posted on their YouTube channel, on their Twitter. I don't think they even have a Blue Sky. It was just this 2 minute trailer, and the trailer feels like it thinks or it assumes that you already know what's going on. In a way, right? It kind of feels like a character reveal almost, but not there. Like it feels like the trailer thinks or assumes we already know who all the characters are. Like, oh yeah, big Iceman, and guy that throws lightning rods, and guy that can angrily blow up a building with lion power, and then he fans a 6-shooter. you know, it just feels like it kind of assumed we already knew what was going on, and it didn't tell us much. And their website didn't tell us much either. Neither does the Steam page. It says it's a raid shooter. In that, one team has to grab the key sword or whatever it's called. The blue glowy sword that they pull out of the rock in the middle of the trailer, and then you got to get that to the enemy base. You put that in this thing in front of the enemy base, and it brings down the shield around the defending team's base. Or I don't know if there's two bases, and then you're like fighting for control of the key sword, and then either team can push into the base and then blow up like a core or something. I don't know. Like we just don't know. I guess we'll find out in a couple days. Uh, but yeah, like everything about that's been talked about High Guard on the internet is like, oh, it's dead already. Like everybody's written it off. Well, so we'll see if that's the case after this stream and on the release day. If anything, if like their social media following and numbers and the number of Steam wish lists as anything to go by, it's not going well. But we'll see. We'll see. Excuse me. Sorry. Goodness gracious. So we did get some High Guard news today. do some dice sounds. I haven't done this in like a week. I don't know. I like this sound. I think it sounds, to me, it sounds like ice cracking. Like a sound effect they would use in like Happy Feet. Like when a penguin's underwater and like an ice shelf or what an iceberg like snaps, like that cracking and then the echoing sound. It kind of sounds like that. Or like when Scrat tries to bury the acorn in an iceberg and then right, that reverberating sound. You guys, you get it. You get it, right? So these are big jumbo acrylic dice with little teddy bears in them in a cloth bag. I think the cloth bag adds a nice layer to the sound. Did you guys grow up on Baby Einstein VHS tapes and DVDs? I did. It's not That's not Little Einstein, not the one with the rocket ship. Baby Einstein with the caterpillar in the logo, the beginning of the video. It was like it was good cocoa melon. I think. I don't know. I watched it and I'm not messed up. Uh, but, it's I don't know how you explain little Baby Einstein stuff. Um, um, they tell kind of a story. There's one. Uh, I remember there's. I think it's a DVD one that has an elephant and a pig on the cover. I think maybe it's. I remember an elephant, and it was like the overarching plot, if you can call it that, is that animals are trying to get to Noah's Ark, and it would like there would be like little scenes and stuff like, and there were puppets. They were all hand puppets. Um, the animals, and the elephant blew could spray water out of its nose, I think. I think. I don't know. I guess they're on YouTube. I don't know. I remember there being an elephant at the very least. But there were just like little things with little hand puppets and interstitched and like smaller things of like toys moving around, like wind up cars and like the bird that you know that dips into the cup of like dyed water and then it goes back up and then falls back down and comes back up, right? So yeah, I don't know. I grew up on this. I watched them for a while. Um, I enjoyed them. Uh, like when I was little and growing up. So I was raised Mormon. If no one knows that, if you've been Mormon enough, you know that. Um, but my favorite like Bible thing to learn about was like the creation and Noah's Ark because animals were involved and they're cool. They're cool. Um, and I always felt like we didn't talk about that enough because like we had like a lesson on the creation and Noah's Ark growing up. I was like, that's fine because like what is there to talk about it? But I was like, yeah, I wanted to learn about more of it. Um, but Noah's Ark was one of my favorite stories because it has animals in it, and like I have it on my bookshelf above my desk. When I was really little, we lived at my grandparents' house, and my grandma had this. I have it now, but this little electronic thing. It's Noah's Ark on some water, and there's animals on it, and animals peeking out of the windows on the side, and some dolphins. Uh, and it takes like 3 C batteries. I have them right here. Takes 3 C batteries. Uh, and you switch it on, and it plays music. And the ark is supposed to rock back and forth, and then some of the animal heads in the windows go back and forth like they're dancing. And then there's some giraffes and camels, I think, on either side of the bow, like other opposite ends of the deck of the ark that rotate back and forth like they're dancing. Um, I don't remember what music it plays, but I don't know. So it's just cool. The story was my favorite because it involved animals, and one of the Baby Einstein videos is involves them getting on the ark or something. I think it's been so I've watched Baby Einstein in a long time. It's been a very long time. Now, uh, the oh, so like when I was growing up, and when I was still a uh, believing member and all that stuff, I'd be any information I could get about or find like lore about the creation or Noah's Ark, I'd like ate it up. And there's a book uh there's a book in Mormon scripture called Doctrine and Covenants, that's writings of Mormon prophets from Brigham Young to up till the 1978, in which the prophet then, I don't remember his name, but he wrote the proclamation that African American members of the church could hold the priesthood and go to the temple and all that stuff, which was a big deal. So that's like the most recent addition to the Doctrine and Covenants. So it's like writings of Joseph Smith, Brigham Young, Lorenzo Snow, Joseph F. Smith, all these people. And Joseph Smith, a lot of the chapters in D&C is just Joseph Smith asking questions, quote unquote, to God and getting answers. And one of the questions he asks, which like blew my mind when I was younger, like, this is so cool. So Joseph asked I don't remember the exact chapter and verse in D&C. I guess I could grab my scriptures and maybe I have it bookmarked, but I probably don't. He was like, hey, God, what happens like when animals die? Where do they go? Do they have souls? All that stuff. And God was like, yeah, they have souls. And they have things they have to do. So don't concern yourself with that. But yeah, they have souls. So Mormons believe that animals have souls and they have their own eternal progression, right? So they have their own. Well, I guess that's up to interpretation, but the answer was like, I think Joseph just asked if they have souls, and God was like, yeah, they do. But don't, and they have their own stuff they have to do to get to their stuff, their whatever, implying that there's separate heavens for every animal. Maybe it's been so long since I read it, I don't remember. But I remember getting that impression from learning this. So it was like, my brain was like, whoa, there's penguin Jesus? Probably not. But yeah, so Mormons believe animals have souls, which makes complete sense to me. Anyway, so it was like, whoa, animals have their own like heaven and commandments and all this stuff. Maybe so, like, would that be like, how would like an ant go to ant hell? Would it be like, oh, you didn't do what the queen's pheromones told you to do for some reason, so you're going to ant hell? Or I don't know. So I don't know. But yeah, God was like, hey, they have souls, yes, but don't worry about them getting to what they have to do to get to their own heaven. Just focus on it yourself. Or maybe my teacher said that. I don't remember. One of my leaders said that when we discussed that chapter of D&C. And like, so anything I could grab, anything I could grab at relating to animals or anything like dinosaurs, anything like that in scripture, I ate it up, man. I ate it up. And growing up, I was conflicted on if, like, you know, evolution was real for a bit, because like I hadn't even heard of like young Earth creationism or anything. I was like, yeah, the Earth is 4 billion years old, and dinosaurs went extinct 66 point whatever million years ago. But the creation says it happened in 7 days. I spent a lot of mental energy growing up trying to square that. And there's a scripture, I think it's in the Book of Mormon. I don't think it's in the Bible. It might just be ripped out of the Bible. I couldn't tell you. But it says something like, time is only unto man, something like that. And basically God doesn't experience time. Time exists for us to deal with stuff. I don't know. Like God doesn't deal with time. Everything is happening all at the same time to him, I guess. So it's like, oh, okay, sure. So we say it happened in 7 days to make sense of it, I guess. And then I put that away in my brain. A popular turn of phrase or metaphor in Mormon spaces on the internet is that you put an issue you have or anything that it would give you doubts as to whether or not the Mormon church is legit or true. You would think about this thing and then put it on your proverbial shelf. You would put this doubt up on your shelf and not think about it for a while or ever again. But so a lot of people will say, oh, what broke my shelf, as in what finally the straw that broke the camel's back, basically, and like led me to just not believe in any of this bubkiss anymore. Hogwash. So for me, I put all of that stuff about the creation, all that stuff, just on my shelf, and I was satiated by this scripture I found when I was in high school, going through seminary classes in high school, which is like, it's a free period in high school where you go across the parking lot to a small building owned by the church, and then you basically take Sunday school during school hours. And it counts as as an elective. But anyway, so that just kind of sat on my shelf for a while, and then some other stuff was on there, but that was the big one. And then I didn't mean to just start yapping about my faith journey. I apologize if this is not interesting to anyone, but in like 2020, so another important piece of, I guess, my Mormon upbringing was that, like, when you turn 8 years old, if you're born into a Mormon family and you turn 8, you typically baptized. That's when you're baptized as a member of the church, and that's when you reach the age of accountability at 8 years old. So, so if someone were to pass away before reaching the age of 8, that means they have a free ticket into heaven. Hi, Moonlight. Hi, sweetheart. Mwah. How you doing, dear? How you doing? I'm yapping about Mormon stuff. And why I don't believe in it anymore. Hope you're doing okay, Moonlight. Hope you had a good week. Hope you have a good weekend. Mwah. You want a good girl? You got it. We are coming up on the 2-hour mark, so if anyone else has any trigger requests or anything of that sort, please get those in soon, so I get those to you. And a good girl Good girl and some smooches. Okay. Would you like breathy smooches, slow smooches, fast smooches? Do you have a preference in terms of smooches? If not, no worries. Slow, you got it. All right, we'll get you your good girl first. Good night. Sorry about that. The mic cut out. Mic was misbehaving. Sorry about that. The audio might have sounded weird a little bit when I came back. Hopefully it doesn't sound weird anymore. Hopefully. It's something with like OBS, and when the mic cuts out like that, like just turns off when I budget the wrong way. OBS just, the mic starts making weird noises, but it sounds fine to me with my headphones plugged into my mic, so hopefully it sounds okay. You're starting radiation treatment in February. I hope it goes well for you, Moonlight. I hope that goes well for you, sweetheart. Mwah. Mwah. Okay. Sorry, we started You're a Good Girl, and then the mic interrupted me. Good night. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking and chatting. Spending time with us on the streams. Thank you, sweetheart. It's always good to see you. Always good to see you, Moonlight. And you worked very, very hard this week. And I'm very, very proud of you. You're a very good girl. You're a very good girl, Moonlight. You're a very, very good girl. And you are very, very loved. Very good girl. Good. Good. Good girl, Moonlight, good girl. Good. Good girl, Moonlight, good girl. Good. Good. Good girl. Good girl, Moonlight, good girl. Good girl, Moonlight, good girl. Good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl. Good girl. Good girl, Moonlight, good girl. Good girl, Moonlight, good girl. Moonlight, thank you Right, we set the mic down. Hope it doesn't misbehave again. Okay, we're all right so far. We're okay. Good girl, Moonlight. Good girl. You're such a good girl. Yes, you are. Yes, you are such a good girl. Oh, look at you, such a good girl. Yes, you are. Such a good girl. Yes, you are. Good girl, good girl, good girl. Oh, good girl, Moonlight. Good girl. Yes, you are such a good girl. Good girl, good girl, good girl. Good girl, Moonlight. Good girl, 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 good girl. Good girl, Moonlight. Good girl. Sorry about that. I caught that burp in time. But thank you for the redeem, Moonlight. Hopefully that was okay for you, sweetheart. Hope you get some good rest tonight, or whatever time it is for you. You're happy, Neko, now? Let's go. Let's go. All right, let me drink some water, and we'll get you your smooches. All right. Here's their smooches, Moonlight. Excuse me, sorry, goodness gracious. couple more smooches. Oh, sorry, I didn't start counting. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, I heard a pop. Keys. Okay, there we go. Okay, but thank you for the smooch reading, Moonlight. Hopefully those smooches were okay for you, dear. Hopefully those were okay for you. Thank you for being here, sweetheart. It's good to see you. All right. We have the final ad break of the evening. If we manage to end stream at the usual time, in about 5 minutes, it'll be the final ad break. All right. Drone camera up that you need to fly for longer than what you do. Nice. My dad got into drones. Oh, I don't know, years ago. This was before 3D printers, or before he got into 3D printers. So it's been a while. Yeah. I remember one of my sisters got a drone for Christmas, I think. Just a tiny one. Just a tiny one. But give me one moment. I need to blow my nose real quick. I'll be right back. Oh, that's cool. Sorry about that. But yeah, so my dad will go through. He'll fixate on a new thing every once in a while, right? As anyone does, I guess, or maybe I don't know if that's normal. I do that too. Uh, but there was one evening where it's just me and him home because everybody else was somewhere else. I don't remember why, but it was just me and my dad home. Uh, so we were watching a he wanted to show me this cool thing he just found or discovered, right? Cameras on the front of the house. Oh. like the doorbell cameras. Those are I love the videos of like bees and wasps triggering the doorbell. It's so funny because like, like it'll freeze frame and it's like the bumblebee is like flying, but it looks like it's close enough to the camera that it looks like it's standing on the sidewalk in front of the yard. They're so good. I love those. They're so good. um, but he's like, yeah, I want to show you this, and he showed me these. Uh, he got into like high powered Nerf guns. Show the heck out of him. uh, he was really excited about him, and he was telling me about him, and then I sat there and I had like an epiphany. It's like that's where I get this from. That's where I get this from. He was very excited about this high powered Nerf gun pistol that he got on online. It wasn't like Nerf, but it was what's it called? It's not airsoft. I don't know. I don't know what they call them. Yeah. So Nerf guns are the best. We do have the ad break in about 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And then we will look for someone to raid out to. I don't know who's live right now. We did have a RC 4-wheel drive truck with a drill battery as its power. Cool. My dad also very likes RC cars a lot. He likes them a lot. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. All right, let's see who's live. We rated Minari last time. Is ND live? ND is live. All right, I think we'll rate ND. There's a fellow bear that streams, but I want to rate her, but we're doing ASMR, so I can't. You're going to bed? Okay. Thank you for being here tonight. Mwah. Stay safe, sweetheart. I appreciate you being here. You're very sweet. Raven is live, but she's not doing ASMR. I can go right Andy. Right Andy. He was right there. Don't forget to brush your teeth, drink water, mouthwash, take your meds, take your vitamins if you haven't yet. I would continue yapping about Mormon stuff. I guess we have time. I guess we have some time. So anyway, growing up, I did all the Mormon things because that's just what I figured was expected of me, what I was supposed to do. Like, there's the illusion of choice for when you turn 8, and then you can choose to be. They say you chose to be baptized. Like, I'm so glad you chose to be baptized when you get baptized. Really, it's not a choice. Like, you're 8 years old. Everybody's like, oh, you're going, yay. Like, it's just like a foregone conclusion when you're little that you're going to be baptized. You don't really get a choice. But they say they give you the choice. So growing up, I just did all the things because I thought that was what I was supposed to do. So if you're growing up, a boy growing up in Mormonism, when you turn 8, you're baptized, and then that's also around the time you would start Cub Scouts because wolves are like 8 to 9, or when you're 8, and bears are when you're 9, and then when you turn 10, you're a wee below, or you become a wee below, and then you go into Boy Scouts from there. Oh, you can start Boy Scouts as a tiger when you turn 7, but I didn't do that. Then when you turn 12, this is my experience. When you turn 12, you're ordained. You are ordained as a deacon, and you get the Aaronic priesthood. That basically just lets you pass the sacrament around. On during Sunday services, you pass around a tray with bread and water to renew your, so you can you take the sacrament to renew and your covenants and stuff like that that you would take in the temple, all that stuff. Anyway, then you turn 14, you're ordained as a teacher, and they get that. I don't know why they're called teachers because you're 14. But you get, when you turn 14, you get to prepare the sacrament. That means you fill all the little water cups in the trays. If you don't know what we're talking about, just Google Mormon sacrament tray. And the water ones are these big trays with they hold little tiny water cups, little tiny cups, and then you drink from one, and then you put it in a hole in the tray, and it goes into this basin where that holds all the little cups, so you don't have to hold on to the cup the whole meeting. It's gross. Throwing those things away, dumping them out is gross. It's so gross. But you fill those. So we had a method for filling the cups really fast. You would because you have to put the cups in the tray, and they slot into the lid of the tray. So we would lay another tray, another lid to a tray on top of the cups because it fits the holes. Then you turn on the sink, then you run it through the sink, and then flip it over or turn it over, and then run it again, and then you tip it side to side to dump all the excess water off, so the water stays in the cups, and then you're done. And then you, to prepare the bread trays, you just put 2 slices of bread on each tray. And then when you turn 16, you're set apart, and you become a priest, and you're given. No, you're not. You still have the Aaronic priesthood. Never mind. But they get to bless the sacrament. Excuse me. And they say a prayer over the water, and then they say, and then once everybody gets the water, they bring the trays back, and then they say the prayer over the blessing, the sacrament, but blessing over the bread, and then they rip up the bread, and then give them to the deacons to pass out. Deacons and teachers can still pass out the sacrament trays. Anyway, so you do all that, and I did all of that because I just figured that was expected of me. I didn't know I had the choice. Then when you turn 18, you have the option to you have the option to this. They give you a choice. You can become an elder at 18, and then you get the Melchizedek priesthood, and that lets you do you can do blessings with laying on of hands. You can give people blessings and other stuff. I didn't do that. I turned 18, and then I was like, okay, that's just gonna happen, and then nothing happened, and then I remember my dad was like, do you want to do that? Like, aren't I just supposed to? He's like, no, you get to choose. And I was like, oh. And then I was like shell shocked that I get to choose something. I get to choose whether or not to do it. And then so that was 2018. And then I still went to church then because my dad had this like a 6-month period of time where he's like, I want everybody to go to church every morning, every Sunday, because whatever, right? Which was fine. So we did that for a while, but I didn't like going. I think this was around 2019, or after the pandemic, really, because the pandemic happened, and we just stopped having in-person meetings at the church building, right? Because of the COVID, so it was over Zoom. So I just didn't really do anything with church for a while, for a couple years, and then so I was already like not like immersed in that, right? And like a big part of like a high demand religion like Mormonism is that you don't really have time to think about your doubts because you're always busy. Like you're thinking, you're doing stuff for your your local congregation and stuff like that. So you don't have time to like really sit down, or if you do have an inkling of a doubt, you're like, oh, put that away. I don't have time for that or whatever. That's not good. Um, like when growing up, when I was in high school, one of the leaders of the church gave a talk and was like, doubt your doubts or whatever. So it's like, oh, you just don't have doubts. Anyway, so I just put all this stuff on my shelf, all this stuff that I had accumulate, all these thoughts and um, inconsistencies and things like that. I put it all on my shelf and didn't really think about it for a couple of years. And then um, through online friends, um, who one of them is my partner now, but one of them would send me videos from a guy named uh, Aaron Ra, Aaron Ra, Aaron Ra, and he has a bunch of videos, breaking down why the flood doesn't work, all this stuff. I was like, whoa, okay, interesting. And at first, I didn't want to watch them because, like, oh, this is bad. But I love this person who's sending me these videos, so eventually I just started watching them because it's one of them is about the flood, and then that led me to some other people, and then there was this, there was this video, um, where uh an ex-Jehovah's Witness reacted to this very sweet Mormon girl who reacted to the South Park episode. And she's not a member anymore from what I've heard. I don't know if she still is or not. But she reacted to the South Park episode, which is it's good if you know what's going on, right? Um, like the Joseph Smith was the dum 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 dum, and then other characters when they like do stuff. Um, like Martin Harris's wife is like, oh, we'll hide the papers, and because so that's need some morbid lore explanation. So Joseph Smith trans he claims he translated the Book of Mormon from golden plates, right? And Martin Harris acted as his scribe. So he would sit there behind with his head in a hat. So what I grew up being taught was that Joseph Smith, when he translated the golden plates, he wore a breastplate and a monocle made of a magic rock, the Yerman Thummim, that would translate the uh, inscriptions on the golden plates into English, and then he would do that, or he would read it aloud, and then someone would inscribe it on paper or write it down. What he really did, which is in the South Park episode, he had a seer stone, which has a whole other story. Like, there's this, you can, like, you pull one thread, you just go everywhere. Like, it's 50 billion rabbit holes tied in a yarn ball. Mormonism is. But he put a seer stone in a hat, and then he put his face in the hat, and then the words would appear on the seer stone, and then he would say them aloud. And then someone would be on the other side of like a cloth or the other side of the room, and they would write it down. And Martin Harris was his scribe for a while. And Martin Harris, Joseph Smith suckered into basically paying for the publication of the Book of Mormon when it was done. Martin Harris, his wife, was very skeptical of Joseph Smith, as she should have been, and she was. So she was like, "Can I see these the transcripts? Because you're spending a lot of money to do this stuff with Joseph." And he's like, "Oh, I'll ask Joseph." And he asked Joseph, and Joseph was like, "No, let me ask God." And he prayed, and he said, "God said no, sorry." And Martin's wife was like, "Ask him," and Martin kept asking because his wife kept asking him if she could see them. Like, what are you guys doing? And I guess Joseph got like so fed up with Martin asking. He's like, "Okay, fine." And they had done 115 pages total. So he gave Martin the 115 pages, which was the only copy. It's the first 115 pages of the Book of Mormon, like the first book, or really like the first book of the Book of Mormon, because it's split into individual books like the Bible. And Martin takes it home, and his wife's, and in the South Park episode, Martin's wife was like, "Well, let's hold on to this, and then if Joseph can replicate this word for word, we'll know he's legit, like he's actually translating from something, and not just talking off the top of his head, or, writing stuff down or thinking about stuff and then whatever, right?" So Martin's like, "Okay, fine, sweetheart." Anyway, she takes the pages or burns them or whatever. She loses them. Martin loses the 115 pages. So he goes back to Joseph, and he's like, "Joseph, I lost those papers. I lost them." And Joseph, instead of being like, "Okay, no worries, we'll just retranslate them," instead he's like, "Oh, I talked to God a bit about this, and he's very angry at us. And he's taken the power of translation from me for a while, for a little bit." Um, and when I was growing up in the church, this is explained as like, oh, even if he did retranslate them, the people that stole the pages, if they weren't burned or whatever, would like edit them and be like, "Oh, see, Joseph got this word wrong on here," and then you would be discredited. It's just because Joseph could not, for the life of him, would never be able to replicate those pages, 115 pages exactly, right? Again, because he's talking off the top of his head because he's looking in a hat. So that happens. So instead, God's like, I'm very angry. I'm taking your power of translation, but don't worry, because the 115 pages that you they're referred to as the lost 115 pages because they're lost, and there was 115 pages. So it's the first book, and he's like, don't worry. The guy that was narrating that book, his dad also wrote stuff down in the golden plates, and they're basically, or his son did, because it was about this prophet named Lehi. Uh, in Jerusalem, but his son Nephi also wrote stuff down. That's basically the same story. So Joseph just retold those 115 pages of story through Lehi's son character. Anyway, where was this? So I found this video uh, of this ex Jehovah's Witness reacting to this very sweet Mormon girl reacting to the South Park episode, and uh that did that for me. Like, that just was like eye-opening to me. And then there's another guy named Jimmy who is an ex-Mormon who does content online, uh and he had a video talking about why it's not true too. I don't remember that exact video, but I remember sitting there. I watched these two videos basically back to back, I'm pretty sure. And the end of Halo 4, when Chief detonates the nuke and Cortana saves him, and he's like in this Cortana made force field bubble in space, and she's like, sorry Chief, I can't go with you, I'm dead now. And then all this rubble and debris starts falling behind Chief, like his world is literally crashing down. That's what happened to me. They call it, I've heard it referred to the dark night of the soul. It was more like, it was like 3 p.m. in the afternoon. It wasn't night, but yeah. So uh, it was a big deal. I was like, "What? That's not true." Uh, I'm probably, I'm. It's more serious than I'm probably making it sound like. But anyway, yeah. So that did it for me. South Park, and someone trying to say, "Oh, that's not how that was," and then the Jehovah's Witnesses being like, "That is how that did went." Anyway, I don't know if anyone finds that interesting, but that's me. Um, yeah, it was definitely very scary. It was very scary. Uh, I don't know if I've ever had a panic attack. That would probably be the closest thing I could refer to a panic attack as that I've experienced. Was after those two videos being like, they made it all up, you know. And uh, so uh, I love Halo 2 because just because it's just a good game, and I really like the Arbiter's story. I remember playing Halo 2. If you never played Halo 2, go play it. It's very good. We played through it on stream. Those VODs are up. I'm going to spoil stuff. So close your ears, plug your eyes. Um, so Halo 2 has two protagonists. There's the Master Chief and then an elite, um, who was in charge of the fleet that followed the Pillar of Autumn in the first Halo game to the Halo ring in Combat Evolved. He was the shipmaster of that fleet, and Halo 2 starts with Master Chief getting these medals for, you know, blowing up the Halo ring and getting back alive, and Johnson's there. And then uh, the Arbiter, or the shipmaster, is in court in front of the three holy prophets of the Covenant, and he's blamed for the destruction of the Halo ring because once the flood showed up, the Arbiter shifted his focus to making sure they did not get off the ring, which let Master Chief blow up the Halo ring because the Covenant's focus was split between the humans on the ring, and then the flood. Um, and Anyway, so the Arbiter really did I mean, he killed a bunch of humans. But he essentially, it was not his fault the Halo ring exploded. It's the Covenant's fault they let the flood out to begin with. But once the flood showed up, he was right to focus on them, as the prophet says in this court hearing. But the rest of the council members all start yelling for his like execution or whatever. And the prophets are like, well, this guy is like one of our best fleet ship commanders, ship masters ever. Like, this guy has killed billions of humans. He's awesome. He's very good. He's a very good tool. So they don't want to like execute him. So they have him become the Arbiter, which is a title that the elites, before they met the came into contact with the prophets, before the Covenant really even was a thing, uh, the Arbiter was like the biggest, strongest guy that led all the elites in their basically in their culture. And then they met the prophets because there were forerunner artifacts on the elite's homeworld. So the prophets find them, and then the elites are like, no, this, and then they just kill prophets, and there's this big bloody war, and they come up to a truce because there was like mutual assured destruction here. After a point, so they come to an agreement, and the elites are the first race to join the Covenant with the prophets. And the prophets twist the label of Arbiter into this cudgel, this tool to control people, to control dissidents, and take advantage of the elites. So most of the Arbiters have all been like deadly criminals or heretics or things like that. So they're like, okay, you become the Arbiter. The Arbiter is famously sent on like very deadly missions that basically assure that he's going to die. So they're like, you become the Arbiter, we'll send you on some missions, and then the council, you'll still die, so they'll still get their corpse. Anyway, so the shipmaster, this very decorated person, becomes this shamed Arbiter, and goes on all these missions. And then the first mission he's sent on is to kill heretics in a spice mine in the atmosphere of the gas giant that the Halo ring orbited. So he goes and he kills those guys. Excuse me. Anyway, to make a long story a little shorter, the Arbiter does all this stuff. They find another Halo ring, installation 02? Is it 02? Delta Halo? Is it Delta Halo? I think. I don't remember. Anyway, the prophets find another Halo ring. But they need the key to fire the Halo ring, which they find by interrogating Guilty Spark, is the index, which is this key to that turns on the ring's offensive pulse, right? That just kills all sentient life within like a 25,000 light year radius. Anyway, so they send Arbiter to go find this thing. But he's trailing behind some humans going to the library, which holds the index. So he goes to get that, and he grabs it. The humans get it first, but he catches up to them, and he beats them up, and he gets the index. And then Tartarus, he's the leader of the brutes, which are these like 9-foot tall ape-like guys, and he kidnaps Johnson and Miranda, who are some humans, that grabbed the index, and the arbiter's like, "Hey, the index was my responsibility." And Tartarus is like, "No, it's mine now." And then um, Tartarus is like, "Hey, we're gonna kill you now." And the arbiter's like, "When the prophets learn of this, they'll have your head." And then Tartarus goes, "Huh, fool! They ordered me to do it." And then he blasts Arbiter off into this hole, and he just falls. So basically, the Arbiter goes through the dark night of the soul, but the whole game basically. And I remember first playing Halo 2, and I was like, "Good thing my prophets don't lie." Anyway, I just really like the Arbiter because I can relate to him pretty well. Hi, Maury, you want some fast scratches? Okay, sorry, I yapped a little longer than I would have liked. So we'll get you your scratches, then we'll raid out to ND unless she ends before we can. If she does, we can raid Neko. Hope you're doing okay, Maury. Anyway, hope that was interesting to somebody. Pretty sick. Oh, why is everyone sick? My sister got sick like last week, and then I think my dad's sick or was sick. He's been sneezing a lot. But I'm doing good, Maury. I'm doing good. I had some Little Caesars for dinner. I'm gonna eat some after stream here. I hope you feel better soon, Maury. Hope we got some medicine or some water, I hope. Oh, and another thing Mormons do, I don't know if other denominations do this as well, but Mormons have a thing called water and sleep. Just came out of nowhere. I'm sorry, Maury. I don't think I really got sick at all last year, so we'll see if I do get sick this year. I seem to if I do get sick, it's like pretty sick and at least once a year. I didn't get sick last year. I got really sick in 2024 for like 2 straight weeks. So hopefully my brother just doesn't go out into the mountains with friends again this year, because that's happened last time I got really sick. But they have this thing called a testimony, which is like basically you just saying, "Hey, I believe this stuff." Like the typical testimony is like, "I believe this church is true. I believe Joseph Smith was a prophet, and all this other stuff about Mormonism." And they're all very similar. Like, if you're asked to just bear your testimony, there's like three or four staples that you say, and then you sit down. Um, and then the first Sunday of every month, that meeting in the chapel that Sunday is testimony meeting, where it's just basically open mic night, where anyone who feels like it can get up, go to the podium, and share their testimony or whatever. And growing up, I didn't share my testimony at all, because I was like, well, everybody just says the same stuff. That wouldn't be my testimony. I could say, I believe this church is true. I believe Joseph Smith is a true prophet of God. I believe this is the restored gospel of Jesus Christ. And blah, 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 blah. But that's that's everything everyone else says. That's not my testimony, so I just never shared it because like that's not mine. That's just everyone else's that I'm regurgitating. So I didn't share that. So, um, yeah, like if I were asked if I had one, I'd be like, yeah, sure, but I couldn't tell you what it was. Like I believed in it, all this that the church was true and Joseph Smith was a prophet and stuff, but I just never shared it because one, I was shy. I still am, and like that's just what everyone says. Like that's not my testimony. That's everyone else's. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else that grew up Mormon thought that way. I did, and someone would could say that like, oh, that's you never believed in the first place. I definitely did. I definitely did. Um, but that's just how I felt about testimonies. Sorry, that's not fast scratches, those are slow scratches. Sorry, that's the mic cover snagging on the mic. That's what that popping sound is. Sorry about that. Anyway, I did not go into stream tonight expecting to yap about my faith journey in Dark Night of the Soul again. I hope that was interesting to people. Or understandable. Coherent. Uh, yeah. Thank you for the scratches already, Maury. Thank you, sir. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. Go back to my factory default setting of just like slow, fuzzy sounds. I'm glad they're interesting I'm glad they're interesting, Maury. I'm glad they're interesting to somebody. Um, and they Mormons also talk about, or growing up was also like, oh, you feel the Spirit, the Holy Ghost, because also when you're baptized, you get the gift of the Holy Ghost, like So Mormons don't believe in the Trinity. They're three separate beings. There's God, Jesus, and then the Holy Ghost. And the Holy Ghost is like, I think he's supposed to be a specific guy. We just call him the Holy Ghost, though. He has a name, I'm pretty sure. But he's like the still, uh, the still soft voice or whatever. Like, if you have like a prompting, like a sudden thought to go visit a neighbor, that's the Holy Ghost telling you to do that. Or if you have a nice feeling, that's the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit visiting you. And they're like you know you're feeling a spirit because you have a burning in the bosom. It's like, what is the bosom? That's just like your tummy. It's just another way to say tummy. Um, you have a burning in the chest or whatever. That's not heartburn. I never had that. Uh, I think I would just like relax. Um, so like I knew I was quote unquote feeling the spirit if I was sleepy, because to me that was the spirit. Or like this cozy feeling of being sleepy. I was probably just tired. um, there's that too. So, uh, Mormons also do this thing called baptisms for the dead, which a lot of people find weird, and it is weird. um, but baptisms for the dead, you're not baptizing a dead body. It's baptism via proxy. And when you turn 14, uh, or no, when you turn 12, you start going, you're, you can start going to the temple to do baptisms for the dead. And the baptisms for the dead happen in the basement of the temple. And when you turn 16, and if you're a guy and you're ordained a priest, you gain the power, the ability to do baptisms, so you can do actual baptisms and baptize people in proxy. You don't have to be the baptizee. Excuse me. So like when I turned 16, my youngest sister turned 8, and my dad was really excited because he wanted me to baptize my sister, and I did do that. Um, which was very scary. It was made me very anxious. um, but baptisms for the dead. So you have to get your temple recommend, which is like basically a piece of paper saying, "Hey, I am worthy to go to the temple." And to get that, you have to do a worthiness interview with your bishop, who's the the guy in charge of your congregation, who is just a guy. Like, they're not paid, and they're just called from a random guy in your congregation, from local leadership, from your stake president, which is the leader of a couple blocks of Mormon churches. um. Anyway, so a worthiness interview is like really creepy when you think about it. So uh, you start doing them when you turn 12, and you're alone in this office with this like 30-year-old, 40-year-old guy, and he asks you if you uh, you know, do various questions. If you are a full tithe payer, if you touch yourself, uh, if you follow the word of wisdom, as in don't drink coffee, if you're a part of any groups that may oppose the teachings of the church, like if you're in any like LGBTQ groups, local groups, or anything, or stuff like that. I don't know. And it's weird. Anyway, you answer all those, and then if you're worthy, you get your temple recommend, and you can go to the temple and go inside the basement to do baptisms because you're too young to go to the top. To, uh, you only go in the main building to take out your covenants. Usually, you do that first when you're being set apart as a missionary to go on your Mormon mission. I didn't do that. Um, I didn't go on a mission. I'm just not built for that. Um, and you go when you get married to get sealed to your husband or wife. Uh, Only straight marriages. And you get sealed to your spouse for all eternity. That kind of stuff. Um, my parents uh, weren't sealed immediately after getting married. They got sealed after I was born. So I got to go to the temple and got sealed to my parents while I was living. Because typically, what usually happens is a married couple gets sealed when they get around the time they get married, and then they have kids, and those kids are already sealed to them. It's in you'll be together with your family when you die and you're in heaven. So I got to go when I was like 2 or 3. I was very young. Um, and for me, I just got to sit in a room. My parents did all these ceremonies and rituals and stuff. I just got to sit in a room with some other kids who all I was like. It took what felt like I don't know how long it took. It was hours, but I just sat in this room, and there was this poor lady in there, and I was, I remember there was a room that with a TV in it that was just playing like church cartoons, like church funded like Bible, a Book of Mormon story cartoons, and there were other kids, but they all left before I did. Um, and I think I was just really bored. So I remember I was just laying on the floor because it's like, nah, I'm just gonna lay on the floor because there's nothing to do. There might have been toys, but I don't think there was. Maybe blocks or something, and maybe picture books. I don't know if I could read then. I was very little, and then this older guy came to pick me up, to take me to where my parents were. For my whole life till like 6 years ago, I thought this old guy that came to pick me up was my grandpa. It was not my grandpa. It was just some old guy. I think I was just so sad and bored. I was like, "Oh, grandpa's here," because I was like, "Yeah, didn't grandpa come and get me?" My parents were like, "No, that was just some old guy, but you didn't want to like let him put you down because you thought it was." I thought this guy was my grandpa. It was not my grandpa, just some nice old man. Um, I thought was my grandpa. So um, I have kind of vivid memories of this. Some of it's very fuzzy, but I remember we went to a room. I remember there were chairs along the walls, and I remember my uh, grandma sitting there with I think maybe my brother in her lap. If my brother was, I'm pretty sure my brother was born then, so I was probably at least 3 or 4. Um, I guess my brother was too little to do this, um, or something. I don't know, or maybe he was making a fuss. I don't remember. It might have been a different cousin. It might have been a cousin. Uh, and the room was kind of dark, and my parents and me like sat in front of like this small table, and we were like kneeled at it, and then I held with one hand I held my mom's hand, with another hand I held my dad's hand, and then some guy did some stuff, and then that's all I remember. I just remember sitting in this room and laying on the floor. An old guy came to pick me up. I thought was my grandpa. No, it was just some nice old man, and I guess I was just happy or sad, or I don't know. I thought this guy was my grandpa. It was not. And then this room, sitting on a cushion or a chair with, and then holding hands with my mom and dad, and then, yeah, that's all I remember. Anyway, baptisms for the dead. Um, you so typically you get baptized via proxy for a dead person who you find through like family history research or just some name someone who may or may not exist or so that kind of thing. And then so you go to the temple, you show some people your temple recommend to go in, and then you go up to a counter and you get this white jumpsuit and some underwear and stuff, and then you go to a dressing room or a locker room, and you put on this underwear they let you borrow. It's white underwear, and then this white jumpsuit. Um, and then you put your church clothes and your shoes and phone and stuff in the locker, and then uh, you go out to the baptismal font, and they're kind of pretty. It's this big stone dish, and underneath it are like three, or it's being held up by a ring of like stone oxen. They symbolize something. I don't remember what. Not the golden calf that the guy is burned alive in. For some other reason. They're not worship, they're just holding up the baptismal font. And then you sit down, and then if you're 16, you'll if you're not 16, you'll just wait, and you'll be baptized in proxy for like 4 or 5 people, maybe 10. So before you go in, actually before you go and be baptized, you have to go to another room where they say a prayer, and then you get like blessed or whatever. So you specifically are going to be baptized in proxy for these specific people. Kind of like being set apart, but not kind. It's been so long, I don't really remember. um, and then you go to the baptismal font, and so there's 2 people who sit in a chair and make sure that the baptism goes right, in that the prayer is said correctly, and the baptizee is completely submerged under the water. So like your hair, your nose, everything is under the water for like a second, and then you come back up. So if you're 16 and a guy and you're a priest, typically you'll swap with another 16-year-old to baptize people, and then you'll so when you swap, you'll baptize the guy that was just doing baptisms, and then he'll go, and someone else will come in the font, and then you say the prayer. You have to hold your hand in your so you hold your when you're baptizing someone, you hold your right arm up in a square, and then with your left arm you support the person you like put it behind the person you're going to be baptizing so they don't fall over in the water. And then you say the prayer, and then you dunk them, and then bring them back up, and then you say, and then they'll the guys making sure the people, ladies can do it now as well. A change was made years ago, like 5 years ago, maybe more than that. It used to just be that only men could witness for a baptism. Ladies can do that part now too. And then there's another guy at a desk with a tiny projector with these name cards that'll slide, so the person baptizing can read the name of the person when they're saying the baptismal prayer. You'll say something something something, this person's name who is being baptized in proxy for this dead person's name. I don't remember the whole thing. And then you dunk them, and then they'll swap cards. And then when you're done, you go rinse off in the shower, and then put your wet jumpsuit and underwear in a laundry basket or a chute, and then you change your clothes, and then you're done. I did it a handful of times. Anyway, I was yapping way longer than I expected to. We're gonna call it a night now. Did not expect to do a 3-hour stream tonight, but it's okay. That's okay. Give me one moment to swap my headphones, and we'll go right out to ND. I think we did raid ND Did we raid Andy last week? Oh wait, we met Andy last week. We could raid Neko Nibbles. Did we raid Neko last week? We raided Minori last time on Wednesday. Thank you for being here, Mori. Thank you for lurking, and I hope you get some good sleep. I hope you feel better soon. Yeah, I want to raid Andy again. We'll raid Andy. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. There we go. We'll go say hi to Andy. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for lurking and chatting and spending time with me tonight. Thank you. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the first part of the. I imagine it's going to take more than one evening, but we'll see. Might go pretty quick. We're going to rank all 55 Sega Saturday games on a tier list. We're going to start that tomorrow. It might take more than one stream, but we'll see. So it's like last weekend was the last Sega Saturday game. Tomorrow is like the finale, or I don't know. We're gonna put a little bow on the whole thing with this tier list, and then got to figure out what to do with Saturday streams now. Excuse me, sorry, goodness gracious. But I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to brush your teeth, drink some water, eat some food, take your meds, take your vitamins. Don't do that in that order. Eat food and stuff before you brush your teeth. But stay warm. It is very cold outside. It is at least freezing outside around here. So please take care of yourself. Stay warm. Stay safe. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And we have Handcam ASMR on Sunday. But good night, guys. I love you all very much. Please be nice to Andy. She's awesome. Bye bye.